Good evening. How are you? Me? Oh, same old, you know. It's a Tuesday. Anyways. Sorry. I think it says a lot about me emotionally that I feel way more comfortable in this than I did in the chest hair and wig before. This is gonna be like my new outfit. I was setting up lights and doing laundry and stuff. It's kind of my jam. I'm feeling the cape. I need to get the wrinkles out of it though. Anyways, good evening. From the invention of the movie camera and the writing of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I can't keep up this voice. I feel very racist for some reason. Anyways, from the inception of film, the film camera was invented in the during the 1890s, and then Bram Stoker's Dracula was also written in the 1890s. So from day one, this was a real, your chocolates in my peanut butter kind of situation. They were bound to combine. So here are the top 5 plus an honorable mention. Yep, still feels racist. All right, Dracula movies that you need to check out. Honorable mention. Blacula. Any excuse to tell somebody to watch Blacula. I don't think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here if I don't tell people, hey man, go watch Blacula. Here's the thing, Blacula doesn't have that much to do with Dracula. He was bitten by Dracula, but then he goes on his own adventure, and it's like a campy comedy, silly sort of 1970s funkadelic groove, baby. Number 5, Count Dracula, 1977, made for the BBC. Here's the thing, this is the most faithful adaptation to the Bram Stoker novel. Like, it follows the story and all the beats and has all the important pieces where they're supposed to go, which the other movies don't, strangely. This one, it follows it kind of to a T, but the problem is it's a BBC adaptation of an old novel. So it's just dry at points. It's very like, all right, get on with it. It feels like Doctor Who or something. The old Doctor Who, not the new Doctor Who. I don't want your ads. Number 4, Nosferatu. Here's the thing. This movie is important from a film history standpoint, but on every other standpoint, it can kind of F off. Like, it's way overrated. It's up there with like Train going into a tunnel, but if you watch footage of Train going into a tunnel, you're like, yeah, big deal. And that's kind of how Nosferatu is. The acting is still stage acting. They hadn't figured out how to do film acting. So everything is broad and over the top, and the film is overcranked, and the people look ridiculous. So it's easy to give them a break because, it's only 1922 or whatever when it's made. But at the same time, around that era, you get Fritz Lang's Metropolis, M. There's also the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. These are all better movies than this movie, especially since it just straight up stole the Dracula story and changed all the names. Instead of Count Dracula, it's Count Orlok. Picture the word Dracula, picture the word Orlok. See what I mean? They're just jumbling stuff around, and that's how the whole movie, it's just a jumbled up rip-off of Bram Stoker's original story. So I don't really dig it that much. The only people who should watch it are film students who want to, learn the film history, and then like people with a heavy metal band who need snippets of public domain scary footage to put into their music videos. Other than that, you can go ahead and pass it. Number 3, Dracula, the original with Bela Lugosi. Bela steals the show. This movie itself is okay. Strangely, they shot the American version during the day and the Spanish version at night. So if you want to watch the better version of this movie, it's the Spanish language version, strangely. I think the director was better. But the movie itself with Bela, he steals the show. And it's much like Nosferatu. It's got these kind of like anti-immigrant undercurrents in it, except because of Bela's sexuality, this movie sort of becomes about, the repressed desires of like the women in the movie. And I think that pushes that forward into other films going in, beyond this. So this one's still not my favorite, although Bela's amazing. And there's a whole bunch of cool set pieces that are, there's some staircases that once you see, you'll like, I never forget those stairs in my life. That's ridiculous. But from top to bottom, this one is nothing more than just kind of a historical, like, wow, that's crazy, because you're easily bounced out of the movie by how old it is. Number 2, Nosferatu, the Vampyre, 1979. This is a Werner Herzog movie, so right away you're like, uh-oh, there's going to be some crazy stuff. And it is. But this is the first time it looks at Dracula, in my opinion, as a sympathetic character. I mean, it's told as Nosferatu, but the story itself follows the Dracula story, you know, closer to how most other movies called Dracula do. So, you know, there's the usual jumble of which one's Mina and what role is she? Is she, old boy Jonathan Harker's fiance, or is it like his sister-in-law, or is it his friend's wife? Like, there's all these jumbling up of the women in there. I never know why they do that. It's very strange. But this one kind of adheres to the Bram Stoker story pretty closely, even though it takes its own liberties with who's who and what they're doing. Number 1, The Horror of Dracula. Here's the thing, it doesn't really adhere to the Bram Stoker storyline that, you know, closely like most of the other ones. It starts playing with the characters and who they are and what their purpose is in the story, and, you know, what relation is Van Helsing and when does he show up, and just all the main characters are important, people are there, but it tells it in a slightly different way. But this one has Christopher Lee as Dracula, and his Dracula is so commanding. You can tell by watching it 5 minutes in, you're like, this is where Darth Vader came from. And, you know, big tall guy with the cape and like just the imposing size. And then he leans into the whole thing that Lugosi leaned to, where sexuality is important. And I mean, that was also evident in pretty much everything after Lugosi. That's the strange thing about that weird 5'3" Hungarian man. He had a magnetism about him, I say. But in this one, Peter Cushing plays Van Helsing. He seems so serious, and he means business. Anyways, the Hammer Horror Collection is great to check out, period. But this maybe is the best one of them all, and this is certainly my favorite Dracula. All right, so there you go. There's the top 5 best, plus an honorable mention, Dracula movies you should check out. If you're interested in modern vampires that aren't all named Count Dracula or some ripoff of, check out this video here, and you have yourself a blood-sucking day. I forgot my teeth. Damn it.